The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, better known as the DSM-5, states that marijuana has the potential to lead to drug-induced psychosis and cannabis use disorder. With the rise of marijuana legalization for medical use, and in some states recreational, an argument like this may seem questionable to some. In the case of Richard Kirk, his marijuana consumption shortly before the crime played a huge and controversial part in the investigation and sentencing, causing an even bigger debate than marijuana use itself. This leads us to the big question: can marijuana cause someone to murder? Are you ready to find out? On April 14, 2014, a 911 call was placed requesting officers to come to the Observatory Park neighborhood located in Denver, Colorado. Both Christine and Richard Kirk, as well as their 3 children, were at home. Christine Kirk can be heard telling the dispatcher that her husband was making worrisome comments, such as asking her to shoot him and acting so sporadically she thought he was totally hallucinating. Unfortunately, the police didn't arrive on time. 12 minutes on the 911 call had passed before the dispatcher heard Christine frantically saying she was unsure of her husband's actions, and then began talking about the marijuana he'd had. Seconds later, she shouted for Kirk to stay away from the gun, followed by screaming and running. He then fired a fatal shot, killing his wife before police had gotten there. It was later discovered that Richard had still had a half-eaten weed-infused candy, as well as a joint still at the premises, even eating a brownie before committing the crime.
Have a seat there on the left. Okay. There you go. I'm going to sit across the table from you right there. You good? You sure you don't want any water? Coffee? Anything?
Just water.
You want some more water?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, give me 1 second, we'll figure this all out.
Richard Kirk and the interrogator enter the interrogation room around timestamp 1 minute 36. The interrogator directs Kirk to sit in the chair on the left and asks him if he's good and if he wants anything before they start. The interrogator is trying to make Kirk comfortable as soon as he steps into the room. The rapport is beginning to build right from the start to make for an easier time with questioning on behalf of the interrogator. All is quiet in the interrogation room as Kirk sits alone and waits for the interrogator to return. He places his head in his hands as if in thought, and then proceeds to splay himself out onto the table with his head and face down. He remains in this position until the interrogator re-enters at 3 minutes 46.
Alright, how you holding up?
It's tough.
I can't imagine, bud. Here you go.
Are you LDS?
What's that?
Are you LDS?
I'm not.
You know LDS members?
I know the Latter-day Saints. That's what it stands for. Am I correct?
You're helping getting me there, aren't you?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
I
apologize for not knowing
Oh, it's okay.
more about that.
Are you married?
I am not.
Do you have a mom, though?
I do.
And you know her well?
I do.
That's what I'm trying to help everyone find. Is there...
Mom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the ones they love.
That's noble.
How come you're not married? And are you my age?
Oh, how old are you?
I haven't met
What's your
you.
name? What's your name? I don't even know your name.
Richard.
Richard, I'm Troy.
Joy.
Call me Troy. Alright? I'm just about 40. How old are you?
Have I met you before?
I don't think so. Where'd you grow up? Did you grow up in town?
Salt Lake.
Salt Lake? Yeah. I grew up in Denver.
Did you?
Yeah.
I like Denver.
Been here my whole life. Only been to Utah one time, Moab. It's beautiful.
It is. I went there once too.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. So I want to sit down, obviously, and talk about everything. I don't know if you've ever been through anything like this before. I can't imagine what you're going through.
Like this?
Well, it's not so much an interrogation like the movies, you know.
Right.
It's not like it used to be. It's you and I talking and figuring this out and figuring out what happened. I want your side of the story, but I'm going to read you your rights. Okay? Have you ever? I'm sure you've seen that on TV. All that stuff they talk about. Have you ever gone over your rights before? Anybody ever talked to you about your rights before?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, all right. Well, it's something that you and I are going to go over, and I want to be 100% certain that you understand everything in it. Okay? It's just you and me talking here. If, well, yeah, there's a camera. There's a camera. Everything I do is recorded.
Well, everything in life so far. So.
Anymore, it is, yeah. I want you to be 100% certain. So if you don't understand something that I'm talking about, let me know so we can clarify it, okay?
Okay.
I know this is just a ton to be going through, all right? I know everything's moving a mile a minute.
And physical things are hurting.
You're hurting right now?
No, yeah.
Are you?
No.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I think so, but...
Do you want me to,
numb
I
to
just-
tell, you know.
we were talking about that.
A little shock of everything
Right.
that happened. And
The interrogation starts lightheartedly, with the interrogator checking in on Kirk's well-being. Kirk seems visibly distraught, and the interrogator continues to refer to him as Bud, continuing to build rapport and open the door for Kirk to be comfortable enough to talk about the events that happened. They have some basic conversations about things such as where they grew up, their ages, etc. The interrogator obliges and answers Richard's questions before diving right into questioning. After the conversation about Utah dries up, the interrogator then finds a spot in the conversation where he can begin to explain what's happening and the line of questioning that is about to take place. He then goes on to explain his rights must be read first and to make sure he understands them before talking about his point of view.
Let's go through this stuff here. We'll get down all your information. We'll get all mine down here. This is mostly for the benefit of the tape to go back on it, okay? So today's date is April 14th.
okay.
2014. It's now about 10 after 11. I'm Detective Troy Bisgard. Like I said, you can call me Troy. We're located in interview room 2A at Denver Police Headquarters. The person being interviewed is Mr. Richard.
During going over personal information, Detective Troy asks for the best number to reach Kirk. Instead of responding directly to the question, Kirk makes it a point to tell him everything has been stripped from me.
Oh, okay. But you have a cell phone? Or you had a cell phone that the police officers have right now?
I don't know if they have it or if it's at my house. I don't
Okay,
know.
we'll figure all that out. What's the phone number for that phone?
Are you supposed to ask me all these questions or...
Kirk seems to hesitate and becomes somewhat skeptical of what most would perceive as a normal question. This seems a bit strange given the context of the situation. He could still just be guarded.
You don't have to answer it. You don't have to answer anything you don't want.
I mean, I don't know why
That's
you're...
cool. No, that's cool. It's cool. I just wanted to know the best way that if I had to call you.
No, I just
What
want to
number would
talk
I
with
call?
my brother.
Yeah. Is that something you mind talking with me about? See what we can't get figured out?
I don't know. I feel real tired.
I understand. This is a lot to go through. I can't imagine. I don't know what happened. And I'd like to get your side of the story. And the truth is all I care about. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll go through your rights. How'd that be? To make sure that you understand.
You have rights for me,
You have rights.
and you're just letting me know what they are.
We'll go over it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, is this just normal procedure?
Yeah. This is everybody I talk to. I have to make sure that they understand that they don't have to talk to me. Like with the phone. You didn't want to give me your phone number? That's totally fine. It's the same throughout the whole time that you and I talk. Feel uncomfortable about telling me something? You don't have to tell me. You don't have to talk to me, period.
But I trust you.
This is definitely a unique interview. Kirk is very quiet, and his short responses and body language allude to his being paranoid of what this situation means and probably the implications behind it. The interrogator is patient with him, as Kirk even goes so far as to say that he trusts him. This statement, however, conflicts heavily with how he's choosing to respond and cooperate. As time goes on, it starts to become more apparent just how paranoid and out of it Richard is during this time.
I don't know you. You don't know me either. Right?
Right.
But I'd like to get to know you. I'd like to get to trust you.
Okay.
I think this is our opportunity.
Okay.
But it's your decision, all right?
Okay, I'll make that decision to do that.
Okay, let's go over it, all right? Let me get past this part right here. There's nobody else in the room with us. And I started that camera there. All right, Richard, here's the rights I want to talk to you about.
Okay. We all have these as Americans?
Yes, sir. Every one of us. Okay. So the first one is you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used as evidence against you in court. You have a right to talk to a lawyer before questioning and have him present during questioning. If you can't afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you without cost to you before questioning. Do you understand each of these rights that I've read to you?
I was kind of spaced out.
You want to go over them? We'll go over them again.
Yes, please.
All right. All right, you have a right to remain silent.
Okay.
Anything you say can be used as evidence against you in court. You have a right to talk to a lawyer before questioning and have him present during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you without cost to you before questioning. Do you understand each of those rights that I just read to you? And then down here, there's a second part of this. And that first part was do you understand everything that I read to you? Second part is knowing
I've
your
heard
rights.
these on TV.
Exactly.
It's just,
this
I've
is
never
the one,
gone
right?
through it and gone, yes,
You've never
I
listened to
understand
it.
that. Oh, yeah, that's reality. Oh, what is
Right.
that? What did that mean? I'm going to just sign my house away. I don't want to do that.
This is what you see on TV. Exactly.
Well, I'm not going to fall for it. I mean, I'll sign something.
I can tell you,
I'll
this
talk
isn't a
about
trick.
stuff.
I will not step on your rights, bud.
No,
I
I'm
just
not
will
worried.
not. You know, this is what we are afforded as Americans in
I know.
this country. You and me.
We voted and we have the right to bear arms.
We do. Yes.
I know we do. And there are
What basically what this is that do you know where you are right now?
Not exactly. It's a little blue office, and seemed like I saw people scurry and kind of run away. Honestly, I have no idea where I am right now.
All right.
I don't know if I'm in a police station.
You are.
Or,
Yeah.
Okay.
You're at Denver Police Headquarters.
I didn't realize where anyone was taking me or anything.
I know. It's a lot to go through. Everything happens fast.
And that's where I am. This is what a police
Do you
station
know-
looks like.
This is what an interview room looks like.
I pay a lot of money. How come there's all this?
Well, we use this guy.
On camera, but you got a hole in the carpet here. My foot's about to go through some kind of metal apparatus.
The interrogator is attempting to lightheartedly start the interview, but Kirk seems to be skirting around it. Even though the situation is heavy and there is a lot to go over, it doesn't seem like Kirk genuinely knows the full scope of the situation, what he's done, and what's going to happen.
Stuff like
Who
that.
else is
where it's
interested in the truth? You only.
me. It's you and me right here.
So far, nobody's been interested in the truth.
Well, I'm a detective. That's what I do. Do you know what a detective does?
Yeah, looks into things,
Do you know why?
finds out why that happened.
Why?
Why
What?
anything.
Who?
The
Everything.
truth of it.
The truth. That's it right
Remember
there.
that Columbo?
No, I'm not like Columbo.
Are you better than Columbo?
I'm not better than Columbo, no.
I'm not.
That's TV. This is the real world. This is the real world.
We're in deep crap then. So are you on my
I
side
am.
or not on my side?
I'm on the side of the truth, but that's it. If you're going to tell me the truth, then I'm on your side.
Wow, that's a big if these days. Goodness. Figuring out who's going to listen. I mean, even I don't tell the truth.
You don't?
No, not
Why not?
always.
Well,
Because I'm not always honest.
Well,
I'm
I don't think any of us are
I'm in a
always.
material world. I can't. I'm like, whoa, I can't just go around explaining everything. I would be in much more trouble I am now if I just said what I thought every time I said it by my wife.
The interrogator seems to try to redirect the conversation back to the topic at hand. Kirk cracks another joke, alluding to his beginning to become comfortable with the interrogator. The interrogator entertains this, laughing with him again. A huge red flag is when Kirk states that he doesn't tell the truth. That comment alerts the detective that he may be dealing with someone who is going to fabricate all or at least some of his story of events. He also says something very telling, that given his thoughts towards his wife at times, he'd be in even more trouble if he were to have told someone. This shows a glimpse into the kind of relationship Richard Kirk and his wife had. A comment such as this could be perceived as his having a level of animosity towards her, with thoughts so negative that they'd put him in even more trouble than being a suspect in her murder. According to PBS News, Kirk had mentioned in the prison interview that he and his wife did have a rocky marriage and that they specifically had financial issues. However, a colleague of Christine's told reporters that she was planning on telling him she fell out of love with him. While this doesn't necessarily scream, "I'm going to shoot my wife in cold blood," Christine's side of the family sheds some light on it. Wayne Conkey, Christine's stepfather, told KUSA 9 News that her family wasn't surprised that he had finally hurt someone, asserting that he always seemed on the verge of being out of control and having road rage issues. Christine's sister, Tammy Heeman, even comments that he could be incredibly mean at times. With all of this in mind, however, it's clear to me that Kirk is still under the influence of marijuana and is still exhibiting signs of paranoia and a disconnection from reality.
I'm jittery, I'm all worked up, you know.
I understand.
I've been through a lot. I
Right.
really have. This is probably, well, hands down, there's a complete truth and absolute.
And that's why I was called.
How come we're the only two that know about it, though?
Well, those officers know about it, you know. But I don't think they know what happened. Nobody knows. No. You were there, right? I wasn't there with you.
No, but then you came in together, didn't you? And they
just
went the other way.
They came down.
Are you taking me on a journey?
I don't know.
Man, you're a trip. I don't even know you, but I feel like I've known you forever. I still.
Do you believe me that that's all I'm looking for is the truth?
Do you believe in Jesus Christ?
I do.
He's your savior.
Mm-hmm.
He's mine too. My wife and kid children's. Even mine. My life.
Right. So
That's
I want
the truth. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if that's where you're at too. I don't know. I'm following you.
Well, I'm following you. So I guess it's us. Right?
Where do we go?
Well,
Because we're in here now. Do you know?
I don't know, but like I said,
What do we talk about?
you were there, and I wasn't there. And so what I want from you,
Is the truth.
the truth.
Who else can be in here with us? Don't we need two?
No.
I think we do.
2 what? 2 detectives?
2 people, yeah, other than you and me and the camera. You have. Right now, I'm sitting here all alone in the whole world and eternity universe. Are you also?
Mm-hmm. Am I scaring you?
No.
Is that what you mean?
No, you're not scaring me.
Okay,
Am
good.
I scaring you?
No. I think you and I can figure this all out.
You won't believe what I've been through. Have you been through the same?
I don't know. Richard, I want you to put me standing next to you when everything happened. You make me see what you saw. All right? You know how you do that?
Mm-hmm.
You explain in detail with the truth. And you and I will get to the bottom of this.
Okay, but we need people also with us. Other brethren. We just need another party other than the camera, don't you think? Someone you love and someone I love? Who do you trust?
I trust my family. I trust my brother detectives, my sister detectives. I trust my friends. How about you?
I have to trust everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do now.
That's good.
Never really thought about it before, even though I've gone through a lot. Thinking about it, not actually thinking about it, but thinking about it. Spending a whole lot more time being on the other side, probably the eternity on that side. Thinking about it.
We can do this. We can sort it all out. Are you confused?
Oh yeah. But I've also asked the Lord to be with me. It's the only way I can make it there now. Period. Do you understand
That's
that?
what I believe. On my way in, I asked the Lord the same thing.
And who is your Lord?
God.
And
Jesus.
and who else?
We can do this, bud.
Is it the Holy Ghost?
Yeah. Let's go through this again. I want to make sure you understand this. Because I will not step on your rights, bud. I won't do it.
Rights are one thing. We also have to have love and truth.
Right.
I'm just wondering what the truth is right now. I don't know how to trust myself.
You don't trust yourself?
No, not right now.
Do you feel like...
You're new to me, brand new.
Right,
I've seen
understand.
a lot of people. I'm like, yes, you're doing a very good job of talking to me and telling me, kind of taking me on a bit of an emotional and is this developed by core?
By what?
The Common Core curriculum or something? This type of interrogation? I
This
just
is
feel-
you and me talking.
I
This
know.
is not...
But then you got a camera. Maybe there's 4. I don't know.
No.
It's just kind of cool. I mean,
Just
it
that
looks-
camera. That's
does it. Does it spit? Can it shoot something at me?
No, absolutely not.
It's just looking.
Absolutely not.
Who's on the other end of it?
The recorder, that's it.
And right now, at this
It's
particular
you
time,
and I.
you can guarantee me that it's just a recording right now. Nobody's staring into the monitor going, "What are they talking about right now?"
I can't guarantee you. I don't know
Have I watched
who's...
too many video games? Ever watched them beyond the back or what?
Well,
Am I
listen,
getting into it too far?
the recording, what do you think that's for? That's to document everything that you and I talk about.
Right.
That's so that I can't tell anybody that you said something that you didn't say. Right?
Right.
Works both ways. You can't say that I came in here, beat you up, you know?
No, you didn't do that.
It's a lot different than what you see in movies and stuff like that.
So this is kind of
This is you
being
and me
booked in.
talking.
No.
You're not being booked in. You're not. This is
I
you
thought when
and
you
me
read
talking.
Miranda rights, that meant the person was under arrest. But you were just telling
It's
me
true.
what they were.
Right. We're going over your rights because at this point right here, you are not free to leave. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know you're at Denver Police Headquarters.
It's hard for me not to talk, but oh man, what is this? Is it just water like I asked for?
I
Honey,
promise you,
what?
it's just water. You want some more?
Yes, please.
I'll get you
I
some
gotta
more.
hydrate my body a little bit. I kind of been put through the ringer.
I believe it.
I mean, it
believe
wasn't. Yeah, back and forth. It was.
Do you want to talk with me?
Sure.
All right. Let's go through this again.
Let's go see someone from the church, though, while we do it.
I can't.
An attorney from the church.
An attorney from the church?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to an attorney from the church?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The topic of marijuana boasts a wealth of knowledge at approximately 20,000 case studies into its composition and effects. So, what are the proven psychological effects of marijuana, and how does it play into human behavior after ingesting or smoking it? THC, or tetrahydrocannabinol, serves as the main component in marijuana. It stimulates the orbitofrontal cortex, which is the part of our brain that governs our response to pleasure. This stimulus then initiates the production and release of dopamine, which can cause a calm and relaxed feeling for the individual. But while THC that's been smoked peaks at 30 minutes and can have a high that lasts 1 to 3 hours, drinking or eating it could lead to a more prolonged time frame. The problem with this is the inability to know just how potent marijuana can be, both recreationally and medically. Some presented issues with marijuana consumption, depending on potency, can include paranoia, dissociation, drug-induced psychosis, distorted perception, permanently impaired brain function in terms of memory and concentration, and so on. Let's go back to the comments Christine Kirk made while on the phone with dispatch. She stated that Richard was acting strange, probably hallucinating, and making inappropriate comments about wanting her to shoot him. Given these statements, Richard could have possibly been affected by cannabis-induced psychosis. Although not common, it is possible for highly potent marijuana in new users to invoke acute psychosis, begins suddenly with high but wears off after the effects. It could also cause an episode of chronic psychosis, depending on if the individual already has an underlying mental illness. Symptoms of the onset of psychosis can be things like delusions, suspicion and paranoia, auditory, visual, or any olfactory hallucinations, dissociation from reality, catatonia, agitation, confusing speech, sporadic or disorganized thoughts. When comparing the list of symptoms to the description of Richard's actions that his wife had given, it's clear that he had been exhibiting a multitude of them. Hallucinations. While not gone in depth, Christine said he was hallucinating, whether he was hearing voices that weren't there, imagining people or things in his home, seeing colors that weren't there, etc. This could cause high stress to the person experiencing it. Confusing speech. Richard was asking his wife to shoot him. She never stated whether this was a normal behavior for him, but it's safe to assume that it's not. Paranoia. This could potentially have also been at play in this scenario. At times, a paranoid individual will be convinced that someone or something is out to get them, to hurt them, or is spying on them, etc. These thoughts can become so severe to the point of violence towards oneself or to others. Kirk's trial had originally been set for March 6, 2017. However, upon working closely with his defense attorneys, had decided to plead guilty upon the agreement of dropping the first-degree murder charge and the 25 to 30-year sentence on the contingency of excluding his marijuana consumption at the time of the crime and pleading to second-degree murder. The judge ruled Kirk guilty of second-degree murder and handed down a 30-year sentence term, which was at the top range to which his defense attorneys would submit the plea deal for. According to a news article by the Denver Post, the mental health evaluation didn't play any part in the case. It has been said that the evaluation was lost amidst an influx of cases submitted to the Mental Health Institute, even going so far as to assert that the mental health evaluation took months to happen, as well as the written report. This is a huge problem. In court, Kirk also agreed to hand over the custody of his 3 children to the parents of Christine, Marty and Wayne Carnkey. Since having the chance to review the case, the most concerning element in my opinion is the lack of urgency to conduct the evaluation and submit the report. In one of the news articles, it even mentions that the evaluation is prohibited from being leaked to the public. This seems a bit odd to me. Whether a pre-existing mental health condition caused the psychosis, we may never know. However, I do believe Kirk suffered from a cannabis-induced psychosis, as he was unaware of the potency of the edibles and was a novice consumer at that. During my research, I found a rundown of the 911 call made to dispatch by Christine Kirk. Not only had she mentioned the comments previously discussed above, but she had also stated that he was convinced it was the end of the world. This belief is a strong indicator that Kirk was having delusions associated with psychosis as well as paranoia. It could be safe to assume that this comment was in connection with the reason why he wanted to be shot. It could also mean he had felt it would be better if him and his wife both were to be killed, if his belief in this delusion had convinced him of its validity. With so many disparities in both law and mental health, it should be a societal goal to bring awareness to the misunderstanding and monetary drivenness of the government in order to address and potentially change these issues for the better, in hopes of seeking the proper treatment for those who are not receiving it, who are wrongfully accused, and whose mental health disorders and their consideration are completely nixed, based on the argument of them being an adult. This debate should continue to be highly prevalent until a common ground can be reached regarding how to best approach these vastly different but societally influenced occurrences.